55 seconds left in this round of Pro, the third round. Senator Chabot, you are recognized, but prior to you speaking, just a reminder, there's 9 minutes left before I will adjourn the meeting. Senator Chabot.
Yes, I'll make this short and sweet. Students are facing deportation, possibly back to war zones. Their lives are being risked by exposure to COVID in their home countries when they are safe, quarantined here in the United States. We should not support any policy that is risking their safety and risking their livelihood. I yield.
Yields with 1 minute and 39 seconds. Senator Murcia, you are recognized.
Hey, so this is very upsetting, and I just want to say, like, taking away the emotional side of it, which is very important, but if you want to put logic to it, look at Senator England. He's here, and he's like, it's very late right now. Imagine taking a class that's supposed to take place at 5 o'clock, and you're all the way on the other side of the world. It would be 10 p.m., I believe, where Senator England is, and imagine having to take a test that late. It is not okay for students to not have the option to come back to the United States when this could affect their education, their life, and everything else. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Senator Murcia. You yield with 1 minute and 3 seconds left for the third round of Pro. Chair Griffin, Lecky, you're recognized.
If strong wording helps keep people in this country, my friends in this country, then so be it. With that, I yield.
57 seconds left in the third round of Pro. Mark Porter, Senator Porter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to address something that was said earlier today, while the senator for a College of Criminology seat 2 might be in a developed country with good access to healthcare, many of our international students do not have the luxury of going back to a home country with good access to good quality healthcare. Also, something to keep in mind, the pandemic in the United States is currently not under control. We could be sending students back to their home countries with the coronavirus, sparking other infections. And I don't think we want to be in the business of exporting a pandemic to vulnerable places. Our international students have built lives and livelihoods here. I don't think that a policy that was come up with no public input and they're given 10 days notice is fair to anyone. And I think they have a right to be here just as much as anyone else if they haven't broken the law. With that, I yield.
Yields with 15 seconds left to the third round of Pro. Senator Kuznier, would you like to say something in those 15 seconds?
Yes, thank you for recognizing me. I think it's time we make the right decision and get this resolution passed, and I waive the remainder of the time in this round.
Thank you. With that, we are in the third round of Con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the third round of Con? Senator Bogle.
Thank you. I move to call the question.
Senator Bogle. All right, with that, is there a second to that motion? Senator Little?
I second.
All right, with that being said, are there any objections to the question being called on Resolution 71? All right, seeing none, the sponsor has time for their closing. Senator England and Senator Alvarez, there was 2 minutes and 3 seconds left for the closing of this resolution. So whenever you're ready, you may be able to take that time.
I was sincerely hoping that I wouldn't have to make a closing, but you'll have to forgive me, for I am sensing a little bit of rising anger. How dare you sit there from your pedestal of privilege and entitlement and lecture me on the language of this resolution? People are having their lives ruined, ripped apart away from them, and you want to sit there and discuss the language of this resolution? Seriously? Why is it that Provost Sally McCrory and Vice President Amy Hecht understand the severity of this issue? Why is it over 1,750 people who signed my petition understand the severity of this issue, but one single senator is going to deny every single international student, 5% of the student body, the right to have this passed by acclamation? How dare you call out my country in particular, where there are other international students who aren't as lucky as I am and being deported back to war zones? I fought tooth and nail to have the right to study in your God-blessed country, and I am disgusted and furious that you think it's acceptable to make a political statement out of this. I waive the remainder of the time.
Okay, with that being said, 42 seconds have been waived, and the question has been called on Resolution 71. Therefore, senators, vote yes if you support this resolution, vote no if you do not support this motion, and go faster for abstention. Resolution 71 passes with 35 yea, 1 nay, and 1 abstention. Congratulations, sponsors. With that being said, the meeting has really come to the end, but prior to us adjourning, I did want to allow for, I know that Chair Dean wanted to place a piece of legislation on the calendar, and I would really, really appreciate it if you would like to do that at this time. Chair Dean, did you want to? I don't know if any of the other senators who are working with him on that specific resolution wanted to move to add it to the calendar on the floor. That would be greatly appreciated. Senator Alvarez.
While I do not have possession of the final copy of the resolution, I am the other primary sponsor along with Senator Dean, and I would move to add it to the floor and leave it to consideration by the president, whether it's heard tonight or for another night at a better hour of the day.
Well said. It has not been sent to me, which is making me upset. I will check if I have it in my inbox. And I do recognize that motion to add it to the calendar. I have not received a copy of it. So, Lord, if any of the sponsors have a copy of the resolution, please send it my way. Senator Kuznier.
I'll have it to you, Mr. President, after the meeting adjourns.
All right, no worries. With that, a copy of the resolution will be sent to all the senators. And beyond that, I did want to mention that the resolution concerns Dr. Acosta and thanking her for all of her hard work that she has done for the Student Senate within the past 6 years in her 8 years of service to the Student Senate. And beyond that, thank you, Dr. Acosta, for your service. You'll be greatly missed. Yeah. And so with that being said, I did want to move into new business to allow for any senators who wanted to place any dissent on the calendar, that statements of dissent on the calendar, that they may do so now. We are in new business. Senator Alvarez.
I move to place 2 distinct statements of dissent on the calendar, or on the minutes of this meeting.
Thank you, Senator Alvarez. Ensure that you email them to myself, Dr. Acosta, Deshawn, and Dr. Bowden. With that being said, thank you everybody for coming tonight. Again, thank you, Dr. Acosta, for everything. And thank you, senators, for pushing through. It is 1 a.m. This meeting is adjourned, and have a fantastic night, everybody.